But yeah, okay, let's review it. Yuri's childhood, yeah, child episode, the reveal of his childhood, right? I think it was pretty good. I liked the whole mom thing. She was so cute and dandy, and yeah, I think there was a classic nice foreshadowing there when she gives him his scarf when she's dying, and then later on when he's getting attacked by the vampire, the scarf hits his face, right? He destroys the scarf and he's like, "Mom, scarf!" And that triggers him into that. It triggers him into that mode, in a weird mode. That was really nice. Yeah, it's like, you ruined my mom's gift when she was dying. Yeah, like, no, I'm pissed off. Yeah, like that was nice. That was brilliant. But otherwise, though, I mean, it's a nice thing there. The general storyline. Obviously, he loves his brother. His brother was awesome. And then, of course, he could turn into a vampire, right? And it's like, I have to kill him now. So, like, that's clearly the biggest premise generally. We see the end of the Frankenstein, the vampire lord, and of course his brother. So, of course, he has to kill the lord guy in the end, the dead Dracula. He has to kill him in the end, right? So, he can end the whole vampire thing, right? Of course. So, that's the last boss. But defeating his brother and killing his brother to kind of, you know, save his brother's soul, whatever you want to call it, that is clearly the kind of the main agenda for him, otherwise, which you could pretty much guess it from last week, but now we know even more, right? So that's all good. And I like the whole premise. I will say that the vampires clearly went there to kill his family, right, and their whole clan, because the whole clan was obviously had the werewolf power, so they went there. Oh, we hate werewolves, let's go and kill them, right? And that's also why she was probably shocked. Episode 1, so what, you're a werewolf? They were dead. Yeah, how can you be a werewolf? We killed them all, like, you know, in the past, right? You should all be extinct, right? So that's good. But I will say this though. This was the, and this is the nitpick. This is the most, you know, cliche backstory ever, pretty much, right? You can guess the backstory from the first minute, right? It's like the whole thing there. I remember when I was taking these games, and most like narrative writing and design, you know, lore writing, all of that stuff, right? The whole story about the kid going outside for, you know, let's go and fish something, go to the mountain, then he comes back home and his village is burning, right? Or maybe when he's waking or something, yeah. That's kind of some kind of version of his home village is burning. That's the most common, like, roleplay, most common trope in, you know, general fantasy storyline, right? Like, oh yeah, you return home, or like this, you woke up and suddenly everything is burning, mom is being killed by vampires, like, I will kill every vampire in the world. Like, it's the most common, most basic story premise ever, pretty much, from the whole, you know, that standpoint, right? So it's not like you say, oh, it's a cliche from this kind of genre. This is like cliche from Greek and, you know, like, not just Greek, like Mesopotamian myths for like 5,000 years ago had this premise. So it's like, this is like 5,000 years of cliche. So I mean, it's like, I don't dislike it, but it's like, man, this is the most basic version of how to do a hero story ever, right? It's straight up. And I say that which is objectively true. Like, that is the most classic way you can do it. I can mention so many storylines that are like this, right? Not this from like an anime. I mean from like, you know, Greek mythology, Norse mythology. we're talking like, you know, yeah, that kind of level of this is classic. This is classic by being for the classic era of writing, right? So yeah, I mean, when I saw his mother, it's all super nice and, you know, very, you know, awesome, you know, this great mom, he loves her. You know she's gonna die, right? You know she's gonna die. I have to say it. I mean, I just kind of laugh at it because she's so obvious. She's like, oh, this is we know it's a vampire story. We know it's horror, people getting killed, right? So there's a lot of nice comedy animes. We know people are getting whacked off, and being introduced in a flashback to the main character's mother, and she's like super nice to. You're like, oh, she's dead. She's so dead. She's gonna get killed, and he's gonna be like, I have to get revenge, right? So that's how it works, right? So I don't think it was bad, but on the same time, it's not bad because you're taking the most basic elements for how to write kind of backstory. You still, I don't know, Star Wars or something, right? You know, Luke comes back, his uncles, and, you know, they're burned alive, right? Like, you know, whatever. Like, it's just that burning thing is the most basic thing ever. Right? Oh, you killed my family, revenge. Like, it's just, it's just, yeah, it's. I mean, what can you say? It's hard to say that it's bad because it's been used like a million times before. Obviously it's good and it's like relatable, but at the same time, it's like it's been used a million times before. Even brother, I don't know, that's a little more uncommon, but it's pretty common as well, right? So I like the anime, but come on, let's be real. This is like this is the easiest writing you could do, in my opinion. I'm probably sound super negative now, but honestly, I am a little negative. I'm not super. I mean, I liked it. I think it's extremely aesthetically pleasing anime, right? And the whole turning into werewolf thing, that was great. And the brother like kind of fighting, and he went for fighting. Yeah, there's my brother with the gun. They look super funny, cute. So that was great. So it had some good moments. Like I felt that the execution of it was good. Like the execution was very good, but it's just like it's very like the premise is really boring. Right? The premise is just I've seen this before since I was like 5, right? Over and over and over again. So the premise is really boring, honestly. It really is. And if you say this, I don't know, you're a fanboy. No, but like, come on, it clearly is the most basic storyline ever. So the premise is boring, but it's executed well, right? So it's kind of like you kind of in a narrative sense, it feels really bland, but the way it's done is pretty good. So I'm a little perplexed in that sense. But I would say, obviously, it's the anyone Walker write this backstory. Like you just take the typical elements from any narrative and just put them there and say animate this, right? Just animate this old myth from the Greek mythology. Animate it. Like that's pretty much it, right? Yeah, I'm gonna go for Rant here now, but I honestly feel that. I mean, the anime it looks really good. It looks really good. But this episode, in my opinion, is very shallow, right? It has no depth to it in that sense. And maybe it has, but I mean, the depth itself is created by taking the most basic storyline ever, right? And it's like, oh, here's this. So, yeah, in that sense. But anyway, hope you liked this review. And please like, the subscribe button, right? And I'll see you guys next time with more Sirius the Jaeger.